Well, hello. So tonight we will have a standing yoga class in the kitchen, like I do with all of the Yoga Anywhere videos. And this is primarily because the house is officially a doggy hotel again this weekend. And I have a couple of dogs that didn't get along with the new one that arrived up in my room, and then the other one down here. So we might get a little bit of doga too. So this is just going to be a live yoga anywhere, but hopefully it'll be a little bit longer than just a 5-minute flow like I do every week. But it is going to be standing, so you don't have to worry about having a yoga mat. You truly can do this in your kitchen. So turn on your television, get the stream on your television, and I'm hoping that I can get a really good view. So I'm going to move this a little bit and we'll see how well this does. This is a different setup than when I record with my phone. And so this is kind of odd for me. And I'm sure that this will either work or I will be back up in my yoga room the next time that I have a live stream. But I'm going to try to push this back and see if that helps a little bit. But anyway, welcome. And if you are catching this later on, I hope that you'll tune in. I hope to do live streams the first and third Fridays of every month, and then a members only live stream on the 4th of every month, the 4th Friday, and at 7 p.m. So we're going to start in mountain position, just like we do with the Yoga Anywhere. And you don't have to worry about getting up and down off of a mat, which is lovely. And I won't be able to see your chats until after. I'm going to log into my phone to be able to see any chats that might come about. But let's just take a deep breath and settle into the moment. So we're going to close our eyes, have your feet hip width apart, really dig into your floor with your feet as if you're trying to rip your floor in half. So push down and out. And that should immediately engage all the muscles in your legs. Then we're going to suck our navel to our spine and stand here for a moment in our mountain position. And the goal is to feel like you are so strong in this position that wind could come through your kitchen or through whatever room you're in and not knock you over. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. You can have an audible exhale. That's called Ujjayi breath. Breathing in through your nose. Constrict your throat as you breathe out through your nose. So it's like a combination of a growl and ocean So that's the type of breath that you should hear. Another time, breathe in and breathing out. Now we're going to sweep our arms down to come up and overhead. And this is where the camera is going to get a little bit tough to manage. So we're going to have our hands up over our head and we're going to lean. And there's one of the doggy dogs. We're going to lean over to the right, back up to center, and then lean over to the left, back to center, lean to the right, back to center, and lean to the left and back to center. Now, take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your back. And we're going to step a little bit farther apart rather than where we were with mountain position. We're going to roll our shoulders up and down. So that way we're getting a really good opening in our shoulders and our heart space. And we're going to twist to the left and twist to the right. And one more time on each side, once to the left and once to the right. Now we're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out as we go into a forward fold. Now this is like a cross between a wide-legged forward fold and a regular forward fold. But we're really going to reach up to the ceiling with our knuckles. And if you can square your or bring your palms together, that'll give you a better opening in your heart space. And you want to make sure that your shoulders are not crowding your ears. So you want to try to have that space open between your shoulders and your ears. Then from our center, we're going to rise back up to a standing position and letting our hands go. That should feel really good and help to promote good blood flow. Now we're going to go into a little warrior sequence. So step your right foot forward and your left foot back just to give us some more space and really lean into that right knee. Then square your hips. So you want to make sure that your hips are facing forward, but your left foot should be facing off at an angle. Then we're going to raise our arms up and overhead. This is warrior one. Then we're going to take a deep breath in as we cartwheel and open to the left for our warrior two. Breathe out and breathe in as we reach forward, up and back to peaceful warrior. Then back to warrior two. And this time we're going to shift on that back foot and reach up with our arms up and overhead. So this is a high lunge. Then step that left foot back. And now what we're going to do is do the same sequence on the other side. So step forward with your left foot, back with your right, really lean into that front knee. Get a deep bend in that leg, square your hips, lift your arms up and overhead, warrior one. Then we're going to take a deep breath in as we cartwheel into warrior two. Then take another deep breath in as we reach up and back for peaceful warrior. Back to our warrior two. And this time we'll add a little finesse when we go into our high lunge. So as you turn that back foot, s- uh, just go down and up with that right arm. So that way it was more of a flow when we did that. Then we're going to step back up. And now we're going to do a little bit of balance. It's not going to be anything that's too difficult. We're going to start with just one-legged Tadasana. So make sure your feet are flush together. So you want to have both of the arches of your feet pressed together. Then we're going to shift all of our weight first to our left leg or left foot. Lift the right foot to where your heel is up off the floor. And with your hands in prayer position, really make it an active prayer position. So push your palms together. We're going to raise that right foot and then put it back down. So we're really just feeling it out a little bit, making sure that we have really good balance, making sure that we're not going to fall over. But if you do, don't worry. It's practice. That's why we call it yoga practice. Just come right back in and start lifting that right leg. Now, because I'm wearing street clothes, it's very difficult to do a tree. So we're going to do an easy tree. So there's different ways that you can go about it. You can do the tree where you pull the foot straight up to the inside of the other leg's thigh, or you can just have your foot resting against the inside of your left calf. And again, with active hands pressing together. This is a really good balance pose for people that might have stiffness in their joints or for people that are wearing jeans like I am right now. I had a lot more planned and then 3 dogs ended up being confirmed today. So I just had to do this on the fly. But this is good for people that feel like they don't have the proper equipment to practice yoga. It definitely makes it more accessible for everybody. Now, go ahead and lower that right leg, and we're going to shake it out a little bit. We spent a lot of time on that left leg, but now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, with our feet flush together, place all your weight on that right foot. Make sure you don't dip in your hip. Make sure you keep your hips nice and square. Suck your navel to your spine. I didn't mention that earlier. But really, with any balance pose, that's going to help you maintain balance is by having that navel sucked in. So, you heard it from my lips this time. Now we're going to do that active press and then lift that left foot. Put it back down, lift it, put it back down. Try to make sure that you're not shifting in space, that the only thing that's actually moving is that left leg. So we're lifting and putting it back down, lifting and putting it back down. Now we're going to go into our easy tree. I should actually come up with a different name. Let's call it a twig. So we've got our left foot just resting against our right calf. And we're pressing into our hands. We've got our navel sucked to our spine. And if you feel like you've got really good balance in this pose, you can actually close your eyes. There's no way that I will. I will fall over. But I'm giving you that suggestion that if you feel like you're really good and solid, then go ahead and close your eyes. Or you can even have your hands up over your head. But we're holding this for a little bit. It's really good to try to maintain balance in a pose like this. It's going to serve us really good as we grow older. So that way we're able to maintain our balance as we do things that might become dangerous as we get older. Believe it or not, just climbing stairs as you get older is dangerous. So we want to be able to try to maintain a good sense of balance. So yoga is perfect for that. Now go ahead and lower that left leg, shake it out a little bit. And now we're going to do some arm circles. So this is all in a standing position. So we're limited in all the different yoga poses and flows that we can do. But with the arm circles, we're going to start with our arms going up and back. So we're going to start with the right arm. And you want to follow your arm with your eyes. Now that's our left. You can have a slight bend in your knees. So it's almost like a backstroke in the pool. But this is in our kitchen or in whatever room you're in. And this will help us with range of motion. Stiff joints are something we can't completely avoid, but we can certainly make it a lot easier as we get older so that we don't suffer from that stiffness and pain. We're going to do it a couple more times. Now, we were in kind of like a half chair. So what we're going to do now is go into a full chair. So we want to have our feet hip width apart, like we did when we were in our mountain pose in the very beginning. And we're going to drop our hips in space. So you don't want to lean over too far, but when you do lean over, really hinge at your hips. Do not allow your spine to bend. And then we're going to hold our hands out in front of us in the beginning in this chair pose. Then to get our blood flowing just a bit, we're going to throw them back and stand up. And then go right back into that chair. So we're going to do that 5 times. So sweep them back and down. So that's 1. Back and down. That's 2. Back and down. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. And just like with the workout videos I do, I lost track of my count. Now we're going to hold this chair for a while. So you're going to start to feel it in your quads. And we want to take our right hand and really ball it up into a tight fist. Have your left hand on top of it. And we're going to go into a twist. So you want to reach for the outside of your left leg with your right elbow. Boy, I got into a position where I couldn't really talk. And you want to look up at the ceiling. Then we're going to come back to that chair pose and lift off. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go through that whole chair pose again. Feet hip width apart, really dig into your floor. Just like in mountain pose, as if you're trying to rip that floor in half. We're going to lower our hips in space. And we're going to go through that whole back and down. So that's 1. Breathe in and out. That's 2. In and out. That's 3. In and out. That's 4. In and out. That's 5. Now we're going to have our left hand balled into a fist, our right hand on top, and reach up and over so that that left elbow comes. You may not get it to the other side. You might just get it to the edge of your right thigh, and that's fine. But then twist, really push up and out of that fist and look up at the ceiling. and release, back to chair pose, and lift. So you might be cursing me because that's a lot of work on our quads. Now, we're going to go into some toe stands. Now, with the toe stand, it's really important that you focus on something out in front of you. So you want to really focus in on it so that way that's the only thing that you see, and nothing else is going to disrupt you from being able to balance on your toes. So we're going to go up and down. And I'm going to get back a little bit. This is the camera restrictions that I have. So we're going to go up and down. I have to get refocused. Up and hold and down. So you can have your hands out in front, you can have them at your side, you can put them on your waist. Just make sure you're really focusing in on something out in front. Up, hold, and down. Up, hold, and down. Again, we're trying to really focus in on the balance aspect of it. So if you can't hold it for very long, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not going to fall over. So if you're focusing on something really strong out in front of you, then you shouldn't worry that you'll completely lose your balance. You should be able to step out quickly and catch yourself. So up and down. Up and down. And one last time. Up and down. Now we're going to go into goddess pose. So we want our feet really wide, not quite the splits. And you want to make sure, because I have socks on tonight, you want to make sure that whatever you've got on your feet, you're not going to keep slipping. But we want our feet to be facing out. This would be for a forward fold. This is for goddess. And we're going to really just lower our hips in space. So you don't want to lean forward and you don't want to lean back. You want to try to have your knees just go out and try to have them track over your toes and back up. So we're doing it almost like a sumo squat. We're lowering and back up. Lowering and back up. Now this time when we lower, we're going to lift our right heel, lower, then our left heel, lower, and then lift both heels and try to hold it. So again, focus on something out in front of you and lower and raise right back up again. Now we're going to go into a teeny little flow. It's got to be teeny because we're standing. But we're going to sweep our arms up and overhead and go straight into a forward fold. Lift up halfway. Lower. And then raising our arms up and overhead again. And then bringing our hands down into prayer position. So this is about the length that I do the weekly yoga. And the next time that I'm going to do a live stream will be for members only, and that's next Friday. And there will be 3 dogs here again. So I'm not sure how I'm going to arrange that. But I'm going to try to make sure that I can have an equal mix of standing yoga, live classes, and regular yoga live classes where we use our mats. So I will let you know in advance. And I'm going to log into the live stream, see if anybody's here. That went a little bit longer than what a regular yoga practice that I do is. All right, so if anybody has any comments that you'd like to make, I'm going to stay on for another 5-10 minutes just to see if there's anything that you like have like a question about, or if you have any ideas of what you would like to see in a yoga class. And so I'll just hang out here for a few more minutes and see if anybody is going to ask me any questions. And if not, that's fine. Um, I'm glad that somebody is actually watching. And I hope that you'll join me again in the future and I can do more. And hopefully, of course, I'll get better equipment later on and have a better camera. My phone apparently works better. Maybe I can live stream from my phone and maybe just get rid of all of this other equipment that I have out. All right. So there's nobody talking. But I'm glad some of you actually stopped by and decided to watch this live stream, and I will do it again if you guys want to watch it. But for now, maybe save it and do the yoga practice later if you came in late. But I do hope to see you all again December 5th. December 5th will be the next live stream. Unless you're a member, then there'll be a live stream on the, oh, it'll be next week. Yep, Thanksgiving weekend. So we'll all need to be able to work out a little bit just to burn off the food that we eat. But I hope that you guys get something out of this and that you'll return to this practice and try it out maybe in your kitchen. So I'll see you again later. Bye.